So for all the young parents out there, you know the importance of stretching your dollar further. It's simple math. The more people under your roof, generally the higher cost of renting your property. And of course, kids cost money for other reasons too. Now, in my previous videos, I've been talking about the importance of young people buying their first property. And now this video is a bit different because I'm making a case for live-in parents or in-laws. Why? Well, for people who are struggling, young people, maybe who aren't married or aren't in a relationship yet, and especially don't have kids yet, having another set of adults or one adult, whether it's one parent or in-law, move in with you under the same roof, meaning you buy a property together, there's a big cost saving. Now, first of all, you can benefit from, say, 3 or 4 of you buying the property together because of purchasing power. If your parents or in-laws are working still, or maybe they have a pension or a retirement savings that's funding them, that can help contribute to the cost of buying a property. Okay, so there's that. So it could be a cash flow benefit, right, to help contribute towards paying for bills and mortgages and things like that. And also, it could simply be to provide a lump sum of money with the purchase. Maybe you can make an arrangement so a large part of the down payment or the closing costs can come from the parents or in-laws. Okay, and then when it comes to operating the property, you have a huge savings potential there because you can spread your costs over 4 or 3 adults versus 1 or 2. Now the benefits continue. Think of it, built-in babysitting, helping with meals, the social and psychological benefits of having grandparents around, right, for your kids. That's huge. And then there's even childcare benefits. The cost of having, say, 2 kids under childcare in Winnipeg, last time I checked, is easily over $1,000 a month. And there's upwards of 1 to 2 year waiting lists. So think of that, right? There's lots of benefits to having your parents or in-laws live with you under the same roof. Okay, so why I'm telling you all this is also because I helped a recent young family with doing this. They came to me not wanting to do this. First of all, they came to me saying, we want to have 2 properties, one for mother-in-law and one for the 3 of us, which is mother, father, and 6-year-old son. And want to have something ideally under the same roof. So a side-by-side, so an attached side-by-side, or a split house where you have an upstairs and a downstairs, and they wanted to have separate everything. So separate kitchens, bathrooms, entrances, the whole bit. And unfortunately, the choice right now is limited with that style of housing. I looked for a while and it was hard to find something that would work for them. So then we considered, okay, what if we have 2 separate detached houses, so not attached houses, that were relatively close to each other, so within a block of each other, walking distance. That was a challenge because we found one house that maybe worked well for mother-in-law, but not so great for the family, meaning mother and father and 6-year-old. So every time it seemed that we found one house that was good on one end, the neighboring or close by house that was also for sale that worked for them wasn't so great. So after plenty of deliberating and discussing, the family decided to take my advice. In other words, my suggestion of buying a property together, a bigger property. And so it didn't take much longer after that for me to find them the right house. Now the benefit to their situation right now is they're in a bungalow. So that means that in this house in particular, mother-in-law has a separate entrance, so a side door, and the kitchen on the main level has a door. So for privacy, mother-in-law can go straight to the basement suite. And the basement suite has a beautiful newer bathroom. It has a kitchenette, believe it or not, with appliances in the whole bit. It also has 2 rooms, lots of lighting, And I thought, well, they seem to like it. And so I imagined for them to live separately quite frequently. Like they would simply close the door and she'd go in the basement and they'd be upstairs. And I followed up with them shortly after they moved in. And I was pleasantly surprised. They were telling me that it's going really great. They love having mother-in-law with them. They're cooking together upstairs. They're spending time together upstairs. Their son is getting a lot of attention because grandma's home all the time. And it worked really well for them. And I was very happy for them because it just made sense. Now, something that I was thinking about is it doesn't work for all cultures. Now in Canada, a lot of us want our space. We want to be private, it seems. And so the idea of having 4 or 3 adults living under one roof, for a lot of families seems a bit too close for comfort. And for them, even though they're new to Canada, relatively new to Canada, in their culture, it's pretty common to be very close and live under the same roof, sometimes several sets of families. And so, as I mentioned, it's not something that a lot of people are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with it, maybe if your culture growing up in sort of instilled that into you, that's, I think, a very good thing because of all the benefits we talked about. So give it some thought for yourself or someone you know. Start the conversation. And that's your real estate fix for today. And thanks for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you in the future.